All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Los Angeles Rams rookie tight end Terrance Ferguson. Ferguson is quickly emerging as a more crucial part of this Rams offense. Teams are all about using multiple tight ends, and Ferguson is a Swiss Army knife of a playmaker who adds a lot of variability to this Rams offense. He's going to be a key piece going forward, and we'll break down everything he's doing so well for this Los Angeles squad, as always, in the comment section below. Give us any feedback you might have. If you're a fan of these film reviews and want to help support us so we can do more of them, consider becoming a member of our channel. It would help us out. There's a link in the description box below that will take you right there. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, let's get started with a little passing game. You can see Ferguson right there line up in a slot position all the way off the line of scrimmage. Again, he's a tight end, but what the Rams do with him is they treat him as just a Swiss Army knife playmaker. He'll line up as a standard inline tight end. As an H-back, he'll line up as the second tight end. Sometimes he'll be the inside tight end with the second tight end out of him. They use Ferguson a bunch of different ways, and it's all about creating matchups and creating space for this Rams offense to work. And Ferguson right here, he's just going to run a simple corner route. He gets open and Stafford hits him with the football. We're going to get this film review going, showing how Ferguson can beat you in the downfield passing game. Then we'll work into all the other formations and plays. We'll get started with this, though. First, let's get into the film. There's the snap. Stafford's got time. Steps up in the pocket. Delivers the ball. Nice catch. First down. Really good play right there. All right, from the wide copy, you can see Ferguson again run the corner route. Gets open. Beats a DB. Good catch. It's good football, guys. I mean, you talk about the matchup nightmares. If you look across the board, you can see clear out vertical at the top, right? One-on-one, essentially. They got one deep field safety. They got two DBs at the bottom of the screen. They got the curl right in front right there. They got a man on him. They got a linebacker in the middle of the field, right? There's a lot of mismatch issues for opposing defenses. And right here, the Saints in this case are like, okay, if there's one matchup we like, it's when they have a tight end split out as a slot receiver beating our guy clean. And Ferguson gets it done. And this is where he's so multiple, guys. This is where he's such a powerful playmaker. We saw it in London against Jacksonville, what he was able to do to the Jaguars defense. We saw it against the Saints. I think we're going to see it going forward. Again, beating DBs and receiving the football, just like we see here in the vertical passing game, gives this Rams offense just another huge weapon. He's a complete football player for this team. All right, let's go with some running game and some blocking. And there's Ferguson right there all the way on the right side of your screen. He's not the first, he's not the second, but he's the third tight end. And we're going to get standard wide zone concept working to those tight ends. We're going to get running back taking a wide track right here. We're going to get zone double teams across the board, working up to the next level. We're going to get zone scheme there, zone scheme here, backside scoop, right? Standard stuff, cookie stutter, wide zone. Again, using these three tight ends. And again, what we saw before, Ferguson as a playmaker, as a receiver, here he gets up to the DB and he demolishes him in the running game too. Helps open up a huge hole. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's the wide zone track. There's the crease. Good job by the runner. Good finish. Keep going. Keep going. Really good run. Good job by the running back right there. Let's look at the blocking, though, at the point of attack. You got three tight ends here. A lot of blocks going on. You basically have 3-on-1, then work up to the next level. Like to see that. Good finish right here at the point of attack. Twisting and getting him on the ground. Dangerously close to holding right there, but, hey, it gets the job done. Doesn't get called. Live with that. And you can see Ferguson right there on the right side of your screen. Again, getting up to number one, defensive back, and driving him out of the way. Opening him up the crease. Again, Ferguson, he's a receiving threat. That's what he was coming out of school. But what he can do as a blocker has surprised a lot of people. Slow start to his career, right? Obviously, dealing with some injuries and some preseason slowness, right? It's going to happen. But he's very quickly becoming integrated in this Rams offense. And it gives defensive coaches really issues where they're just wrong no matter what they do. Ferguson can win when he's running routes. He can win when he's blocking, like we see here. Great job right here by 18.
Yeah, Nick, and I think Ferguson has done a great job run blocking this season. And I think especially over the last two games, this team has really trusted him to come into that role. If you look at it, he's had 38 run blocking snaps all season, but that is 30 snaps that were in the last two games, really amping up that run blocking attack. Is a 65.2 grade on the season, and had a really great game last week as well with a 77.2 run blocking grade. So Ferguson coming into his own in the run blocking grade. The Rams are really starting to trust him there.
All right, sticking with the running game, there's Ferguson right there. Again, he's not the first, second, but he's the third tight end all the way on the left side of your screen right here in this case. And the Rams here are going to run a really clever concept. It's going to be a gap scheme. We're going to get a base block by the left guard, base by the left tackle. double team right here between the center and the right guard working up to the linebacker. We're going to get a base block right here. But what's interesting here is that normally what happens is that you get a double team working up to the next level. This time they try and insert. They take this H-back lined up as a tight end over here, shuffle and motion him down inside. He's going to lead right here. Then we're just going to get a standard base block out here. Now, normally what you would also get then is a block here and a block going up here just like this. But the Rams, they keep the same strategy as they used inside. They have this first tight end go out this direction, and then Ferguson insert around just like that. So it becomes kind of a little bit of a huddled mess, but the goal here is to create angles, right? You create an angle here. You have this guy come in motion, create the angle there. You have that angle there, and you have Ferguson inserting for the angle there. Now, it works good on paper, of course, but the player's got to execute. The young tight end, number 18, he does his job. Again, not the prettiest run blocker in the world by far, but a good rep nonetheless. Let's check it out. There's a motion. There's a snap. Inside run. Good jump cut. Good run by the running back right there. Great finish. I tell you what, Rams runners running hard. All right, let's look at Ferguson right there. He inserts, gets up to the safety, scores him up, blows him out of the hole. That's it. Good job. That's all you need, right? These are tougher blocks than it looks because this is a situation right here where you got to be ready for 33 to be flying outside, inside, to be coming at you with a full head of steam, like ready to take your head off. So you got to be basically broken down like you see here, and then you got to square up, use your hands, and just drive them out of the way. That's good work because if you freeze frame it right there, there's that hole, there's that crease. If they get a decent block right here on the edge, if that tight end doesn't get blown up, I think the running back has a chance to squirt through that for a pretty big play. Now you see 21 coming over the top right here. He probably makes a tackle, but it's still a longer play. But let's say this tight end blocks him. It's now one-on-one on the safety, 21 right here, for maybe a touchdown, right? That's how close these running plays can get if you get one better block at the point of attack, like number 84, if he does a better job. But Ferguson, he does his part, navigating the trash, loops around, gets his hands on 33, blows him out of the hole, stays with the block till the very end, finishes him too. Nice rep. All right, from the wide copy, get a really good look at it. Watch the motion from the H back there. He's going to insert, pick up the linebacker. Good enough. Right, you can see the tight end, number 84. He works on to the defensive end. Not a great job there. Gets kind of blown up a little bit. Let's look at Ferguson. Again, looping around, avoiding the trash. Does a great job there. Does a good job running his feet, driving his hands. And I love the finish here. Watch this. Finish on top of him. A little nastiness from number 18. Little receiving tight end, chopping it up inside. Putting safeties on their back, pushing them over the pile. I like to see that, right? Be physical. Be a little nasty out there. Just because you're blocking doesn't mean you have to give up after one or two steps. You can see Devontae Adams here, right? Yeah, that's not really the most physical play in the world. That's normally what you see from tight ends blocking, right? 84, kind of, okay, it's like one of those things where, hey, I'm kind of a receiving threat. Primarily, I'm blocking because I have to. I don't really want to block, right? You can see even the guy inserting right here, coming across the formation. He gets the contact and just kind of stops running his feet. Now he's watching the play. But who's finishing, guys? It's the rookie. It's the receiving threat primarily, finishing the safety, pushing over the pile, getting on top of his face like we see there. Nice job. All right, sticking with the running game, and there's Ferguson right there, and he's not the first tight end, but this time he's the second, and they got the H back inside of him just like that, and he's going to go in motion, pre-snap this direction, and try and get some flow from the linebackers and safeties. It's Sean McVay. There's going to be motion, of course, and it's going to be an inside handoff this direction, and by structure, you're supposed to get a lot of double teams, like we see here, working up to 20, double team here, working up to 56, block out there, and you got Ferguson. His job is to work across the face and try and pick up number 21 right there. The issue here is that the Saints, they stunt, they slant guys all over the place. There's a lot of chaos. You got guys going this way, you got guys going that way, you got linebackers firing, right? It becomes a lot of action. 21 crashing inside. It becomes a little bit of a chaotic mess. The Saints trying to insert some confusion into the Rams offense, and it works for the most part. They limit the play. I want you guys to watch Ferguson, though. He does a good job. He sprints off the line. He has to work off the heels of 96. It's one of those things where you can't go up because 21 is not going to beat you inside easily. And if you go, obviously, at an angle, you're going to run into number 96. He does a good job bending across the heels. He doesn't quite get to number 21. He kind of actually blocks him in the back, if I'm being honest. But I love his effort, and I love his thought process as a blocker so early in his career. Let's check it out. There's motion. There's a snap. There's the inside run. A lot of chaos. And a minimal gain. And you can see right here, number 21, Ferguson's guy, the safety, he kind of comes across and is part of the tackle. Now, to be totally honest, this play wouldn't have been a home run anyway, right? The Saints kind of create a mass of humanity there. Would have been tough to squeeze out of that for any running back. But here from Ferguson's perspective, watch how he runs off the heels, see how he immediately gets wide. I mean, he's doing everything technically right. Now, he doesn't get his head upfield there at the very end, gets a little block in the back action, but I still love the idea he's willing to block and mix it up and throw his head in there. Again, a lot of these tight ends and receiving tight ends especially, they kind of just, they get one pop and then they're done. Look at my boy 84 right here at the point of attack, right? kind of gets disragged a little bit. Now it's Chase Young. I mean, it's going to happen. He's a good player. How about an 87 looping around? On a linebacker, 56, one little pop, then he's done. So when you look at Ferguson, the way he drives his feet and the way he finishes right there, he gets the contact, but he still goes through. He's still running through. Again, it's not the prettiest play. I'm not giving this an A plus by any means when it comes to Ferguson's blocking, but I love his path. You can see his first step is up, then he works off the heels, tries to go flat. He just can't quite get there in time. I think with more reps, he'll clean this up, and this will be a bigger block. And again, if he can get this block, that's the thing. If he can get his head upfield, running back could cut back behind him for a huge play. This play was actually really close to breaking. You can see right there, there's the crease right up the hash, and that's where 21's filling. If Ferguson, and I think he has the athletic ability, if he can get there, this will be a huge play for the Rams going forward. All right, going back to the wide zone scheme, working this direction again to the 3 tight end side, and there's Ferguson right there. Once again, he's the 3rd tight end. I tell you what, the Rams found something with this formation. We're going to get Ferguson some help inside on number 99 before he works up to the DB. He opens up the huge hole that the running back is able to get through for a really nice gain. Ferguson, the blocker, is emerging in this Rams offense. That's a sight to see. Let's check it out. There's a snap. There's the wide zone track. There's the hole. Good play by the Saints to close it down, but this is a pretty big crease. If I freeze frame it right there, I mean, that's a pretty good hole. Now you can see number 20, no one gets up to him. That's a mistake by someone on the offensive front right here. I think right here this tackle's got to work off, right? He kind of loses his balance and falls over his face. You can make an argument the center gets too far inside, spun like that. That's not ideal. He should have probably worked up as well. So this is the guy who makes a play, number 20 right there. Good play by him. You know, credit where credit is due, because this is, again, a big seam right here at the point of attack, right? This could have been a really nice run. It was still a decent little game, but this could have been a home run hitter, and I think it will be going forward, because if you look at Ferguson doing a great job giving help on 99, working up to number 1 right there, and clearing him out of the way, staying on him, staying fighting. Look at the running back fight. I tell you what, the way these running backs hustle for the Rams and the way they finish runs, you're going to have blockers that stay on the entire play. And a lot of the other tight ends for the when it comes to the Rams, they kind of let people go, right? You can see right there, he lets him go. But you look at Ferguson, he's staying on number 1, right? He's fighting to the very end of the whistle. He isn't holding, he isn't grabbing, he isn't doing anything stupid. He's just being a competitor, fighting each and every second. I love to see it from the rookie. Again, that little shove right there probably picked him up another 5 yards, and a little more shove at the end too. Look at this. Look at a little feistiness right here from Ferguson, throwing someone out of bounds. Love to see it. All right, from the wide copy, you see Ferguson at the bottom of your screen to help on Chase Young, up to number 1, blows him out of the way. Right there, drives him, and drives him off the field. Nice play. I tell you what, Ferguson got himself a little 2-for-1 action right here, because he gets on Chase Young right there, gets the help, works up to number 1, but because he stays on him, he actually ends up picking, right? He throws number 1 into the safety, and then actually pushes him off the running back and allows the running back to get extra yardage. Again, this is what effort gets you. This is what running your feet gets you, and this is a huge part of Ferguson's game. Look, he's a receiving threat. We know that for sure. I've said that a bunch of times. We'll highlight that again in this film review. But I tell you what, I am very impressed with his blocking in terms of not just getting the job done, but his effort and his finish. That's a sign of really good things to come for this rookie. All right, quick break in the film review. Look, I was taught to break down film by my college coaches at the Division I level. All the players are. It's just a fact of playing football at that level. And I want to take this opportunity to give you guys, the average fan, more opportunities to get that insider knowledge of how the game is taught at that highest level of college football. I created a checklist, a step-by-step guide for you guys, 100% free. That's based on how I was taught to break down film by my coaches, and that I use today to create these film reviews. There's a link in the description box below that'll take you right to it. I really appreciate it if you guys decide to get it. Again, 100% free, just trying to share information to you guys, stuff that was taught to me by my coaches. But without further ado, let's get back into the film. All right, sticking with the running game, and there's Ferguson. He's off the screen. You're not going to be able to see him. And this time, he's going to insert inside like we saw before to try and pick up a safety or defensive back wherever he can see. Now, before, I don't know if you guys remember, 21, you can actually see him over here. He actually lined up and slanted inside at the snap because he was so concerned about the inside running game. But as the Rams at this point, they've been killing the Saints, especially Ferguson too, with outside throws with the tight ends, attacking, both throwing the football and with some of the outside zone running schemes I've showed you. So you can see safeties are wide, safeties are deep, like linebackers are wide. They're not really attacking downhill. So what ends up happening, interestingly enough, as Ferguson loops around, there's no one for him to block, and he's kind of confused. Now, he needs to clean this up. If there's no one there, it doesn't matter. Keep going through full speed. But this is the effect of Ferguson in this Rams offense, because they can attack you with outside zones like we saw before, and Ferguson can do a good job blocking because they can throw it on the outside with Ferguson or any of the other receivers. It forces defenses to stay wide. It forces safeties to stay back, and it opens up big creases inside. And as guys go inside to lead deep block like we're going to see with Ferguson here in a second, there's not going to be anybody there. Let's check it out. There's some motion. There's a snap. There's the inside run. Look at that crease. 5 yards without really even trying. And again, you have the tight end on 56. Does just enough. Right? You can see number 33. He actually comes outside in and does a good job making the play, limiting the damage. Right? Credit is where credit's due. Right? Got to give it there. You can see it's still a 4 or 5 yard run down the heart of the defense. Right? Actually end up being about 6, 7 yard runs by the time the running back falls forward. And again, you get 6, 7 yards a pop. Obviously, you're winning 34-10, like we saw with the Rams, of course. But you can see Ferguson loop around. Right? He's like, there's nobody there. Right now, to be fair, he gets caught in some of the trash. I think he's a little passive. This is definitely a bad play from Ferguson. Needs to clean this up. Run through here with speed and confidence. And this is something he definitely needs to, because if he gets through here with speed, maybe he picks off 33, and maybe, just maybe, they score through. Which, by the way, look at this block right here by the center. Check this out, guys. Boom, pancake. Oh my goodness gracious, look at that. Look at that pancake. That's awesome to see. And if Ferguson's able to get through here cleanly, maybe he gets a piece of 33, running back keeps his balance, and it becomes not a 7-yard run, but a 57-yard run. Ferguson needs to come through with a little bit more aggressiveness and confidence. He did it before in the game. I just think it's a different look, and he's so far out wide, I don't think he trusts himself. More reps will clean that up for sure, but this is the effect that happens, right? The safeties stay wide, they're not flying downhill, and it basically gives up 6, 7 yards a game, which of course the Rams will take.
One thing that I think Ferguson could work on is more reliability in the pass blocking game. Although the Rams don't really heavily use the tight end position in their pass blocking game, they do use them some, and Ferguson is going to grow and eventually be the number one guy at tight end. He's going to be able to need to be more reliable in that aspect. This year so far, they've used Higbee in about 16 to 20 reps of pass blocking. Ferguson only really gotten one pass blocking rep so far and did mediocre, nothing too special there. So that's one thing I think he can improve on. Not that he's bad at it, I just don't think he's had enough time to really learn it. So that would be my only gripe. Otherwise, this guy has been a phenomenal player this season.
All right, let's end on a passing play to talk about the Ferguson effect once more. So there's Ferguson lined up as a wide receiver, but you can see the Rams came out with 2 tight ends in their personnel. So this was the Saints' check to this package, right? Early on in the game, they got the safety walked up. They got one deep safety. They got their corners right here, kind of a cover 3-ish kind of look, at least a single high look at the snap. And this is a situation, again, they think, oh, there's 2 tight ends, third tight end over here. It's going to be run. We got to pack the line of scrimmage. But what ends up happening is that essentially you have all these guys here to stop the run, everybody up. You bring the receiver in motion out here. Suddenly you've got basically one-on-one opportunities, right? And they know the coverage they're going to get because they got 2 guys right here. So Stafford just reads the coverage. He's got a corner route right here to Ferguson. This corner comes up. The safety's got deep responsibility. So Ferguson's open. Easy pitch and catch, guys. This is football made simple. This is what Ferguson and this multiple tight end package brings this Rams offense. Let's check it out. There's a snap. Little play action. Steps up in the pocket. There he is, guys. It's just that easy, right? You can see the corner at the bottom of your screen. Took the receiver, right? Leaves all this green grass for Ferguson. Easy catch, right? It's not even that great of a route, right? It's not even a perfect throw. It's just wide open. It's just easy football because you can see all the defenders are all in the box, right? Here at the snap. Look how close they are, even deep into the deep of the drop right there from the quarterback. They're all still close to the line of scrimmage. They haven't gotten enough depth that creates a separation. It makes it easy for Ferguson because, again, by structure, by alignment at the snap, they're like, oh, there's 3 tight ends on the field. We got to be prepared for the run, as they should be, because the Rams ran the football down their throat, right? It's one of those things. Outside zone, inside run, right? We saw this from Ferguson blocking as a tight end, inserting if necessary, right? He can do it all. And because he can do it all and also get open and have, reliable hands like we see here, it makes him, as a part of this Rams offense, really, really formidable. It's the little things sometimes, right? We talk about football all the time about being, an X's and O's games and who's the smartest coach. Guys, sometimes it's all about using the right personnel against what the defense is trying to do, and that's what McVay has done here. He's basically got defenses expecting run, expecting heavy with a bunch of tight ends. They're not ready for a pass down the field. Ferguson gets wide open, and it's easy offense. And I tell you what, guys, this Rams team is going to be tough to stop because of it.